So those are a bit better teams in comparison to the ones.
There's no need to muddle.
I'm not muddling anything.
The predictions with these other teams' results. We can stick it with the one team, and that's good enough.
Well, if Rise can't beat them in scrims, perhaps they will not in official matches.
Well, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen, as we are jumping back into it. Rise will be starting off on the T side. Luminosity will jump on defense here. And as we start things off, Rise are just going to go for a straight train up Banana here, try to roll themselves into the B site. As they push forward, Nekas gets a nice first kill, and the second one as he fades away behind the first Orange's box here. John G is going to try to push forward, but it's an absolute meltdown. Dazzle trading on to one kill, but that's going to be the only one as they're getting happy about that. Luminosity quickly take control over the opening pistol, and they go up 1-0.
Rise try to be quick, they try to be swift, and Luminosity just take their skulls one at a time, popped them all out. And Luminosity now, you can hear how loud they get. That's what I love about the Brazilian team. Even Team 1, when they were here, they went around, there you can hear that. You know outside the building who just went around.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, maybe. Yeah. I feel like a lot of Brazilian teams get really I like it, man. The hype.
It's almost like an intimidation tactic, I think.
It could be as well.
From discussions I've had
now,
about it.
Rise will get back. Like, Rise will scream at you as well. So
basically what you're saying is this match is going to be very loud.
Yeah, they're no SFX, which is an NA kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but they definitely at MDLN will get loud, as they're going to be on the pistols. And I mean, they have two smokes. They could go for a little bit of a rat play. Try to get into a site and get the bomb down. But Luminosity on the CT side starting off well. Another thing this game is very dependent on is the pistol rounds. Not the previous one. But if Janji can continue this up and remove a couple more LG members, heck, it might come down to the 4 spies.
Great spot from Janji there to be able to get that first kill. VSA will also kind of swoop his way back out here, but Dazzle holds on, kills Yell from back on the other way, and they also bring down Nekas to a very, very low amount of HP. He's going to be forced to fall back. Finally, we see at least one trade move working its way in from Luminosity here, as Showtime picks up the trade kill onto Janji, but still, the problem is now you have these Luminosity players trying to quickly rotate towards B, but I'm not even sure if they've realized it yet. They are going to have Moose quickly flanking onto them here. They'll have to be cautious of that. And actually, Rise not even fully deciding if they want to commit to B just yet, so they're going to kind of rat back the other way here.
That's such a good fake, actually, like a sound cue fake.
And now Showtime's going to have to try and hold this on his own. Oh, he gets a nice, easy player to start. Oh, my God, and the flick from Showtime, too, to correct on that. Just completely denies Moose the trade kill. The bomb was put onto the ground. Showtime was a little bit shocked from that 1v2 he just pulled off there, so he does let him get away with the bomb. However, still, more players are going to try to rotate back in, and that's only going to leave VSA a solo here, trying to clutch out a 1v3. Not going to happen. They do bring the Luminosity players down relatively low, just not enough to take them all down, so Luminosity will still come out on top. 2-0 will become the scoreline.
You can't expect Showtime to make a play like that, but that round was... I liked where it was going, then immediately got sloppy. If they find Showtime there, they find the round. They pulled all the players off of A. They had full control of the A site. Moose called it completely. The sound fake pulled both players over. And then when you lose around like that in that fashion after how it actually started to shape up for you mid-round, man, it can almost lead you to a false sense of security, perhaps. As Rise will go for upgraded pistols, thanks to the bomb plant. Moose was a bit richer, a bit more wealthier than his teammate, so he gets armor behind it. And if they can get another bomb plant, their first buy will be everything they need. And it's Janji again with his deagle to open up. I've seen him do this online, and it's great to see him do it on land now. Outside of the MDL land. That's Cello, though, and Co will quickly answer back against mainly unarmored opponents. As it's just Janji to find a frag, and Moose has done a nice job of getting out toward. Does he? Ooh, 4-3. 4-3.
Yeah, exactly right there. Showtime was even peeked out a little bit, didn't manage to notice it, so Luminosity will easily shut down this round. No upsets to be seen this time. They get the nice clean 3-0 start. They obviously will cost them a little bit of money because of the deaths back in the second round, but even then they only lose 2 players there, just a few more being brought down to very low amounts of HP. And then obviously things are pretty clean in the third round. So getting here to the fourth round, they'll still have a few guys with a bit of excess cash, but for the most part, we'll jump into it, and we will see Rise obviously going for their first full investment too as we get into the gun rounds.
The op is out in Ace's hands.
And that will be a connected op shot there from Ace too. Moose will even move back into the apartments to finish him off. So nicely found. He's complete the kill. They get a very quick 5v4 advantage. Are they going to be able to keep that though? So let's see. Oh, Janji just escapes through, gets this position. We'll see a trade from Cello, but because of the earlier kill, still an advantage to Rise for right now. They have to decide where they want to play this for, though, as Luminosity have gone very aggressive on Banana. The aggressive smoke themselves, too. And with PKL finding that kill, catching Moose, trying to push from the porch area here. He's going to be able to even it back out, and now even gets an advantage with his shift over here to the pit area. Ace will be able to trade that back out. VSA finds another one, so Rise go back into holding control, but the round is not over just yet. We still have Yell trying to clutch. He's going to work his way into the site and attempt the 1v2.
Yeah, VSA is in pit. Well, Ace is in sight with an op, so this is a kind of a backward setup just based on how the round evolved. And Yell's about to have a molly thrown his way. He has to commit forward. And due to him going backwards, he is going to have to save now. Unless he wants to run out Boiler, but time is starting to become an issue. VSA switches up his position. Yeah, this is just going to be Yell getting out of here. It's going to be Rise picking up the first rifle round and keeping 2 players alive. More importantly, the op in their hands. If they can exit safely, it looks like Yell is going to be on the prowl a little bit.
Oh no, as they fall back,
That's
Yell's
so
actually waiting for them there, so that was pretty smart from Yell. Gets himself into the way,
they
and the last man
died.
does end up dying due to the bomb explosion there. So Yell is going to cause a complete wipe of the board, and that will force, obviously, a whole load of rebuys on Rise, which means that their money is not going to be looking strong at all. In fact, they will have to probably have some sacrifices because of that, but they should still be in okay shape here to continue fighting. And Luminosity with their rebuy, they're going to have to hope that they can win this round if they want to maintain their lead.
Oh, man. That's actually so painful for Rise. That's if you can keep the op in, you give yourself another chance to get 2 in a row, and now Luminosity having every advantage of them over this round. The op, the utility, and Rise can't use too much utility to get map control. It's hard to get Banana without using all your utility, without using mollies, nades, flashes. It just made 10 times safer. And now Luminosity are about to peek you down Banana, and you have nothing to defend yourself besides your gun. It's going to be so hard here for Janji. And you can see he is able to get some help from Ace, but the mollies just traded out 1 for 1, which isn't bad for Rise, especially considering they've dealt damage to Yell. But I'm not too sure how much of that they've actually gathered.
It's going to become very quiet now across the entire map here. Rise kind of slowed their momentum down after the 1-for-1 trade. Yell's actually lucky to be alive from that previous exchange. They only made it out of that fight with 3 HP, which means he's going to be a very, very delicate player for the rest of this round here. So he'll just hide back inside of Library for the time being. Rise that do push their players forward over here to the mid-choke point as they're going to get ready to execute onto the Ace site. And they'll slowly be in position, getting ready to move towards it. Cello, no signs of him rotating just yet. But we will have to see that soon, as obviously Rise are not giving away anything here. They move in, no, they catch PKL out, taking him down. Nice play coming out here from Ace. Unfortunately, he's only going to be able to survive for that 1 kill. It'll have to be Dazzle that catches the additional trade kill and puts it down to a 2v3. Yell might actually just back out of here if he's not going to get anyone peeking him into that little library angle there. And I think Cello will be suffering from the same fate. They know they really can't bargain their way back into the site, so they'll let Rise have this one and go up to a scoreline of 2-3.
Well, Rise can't really afford to hunt now. If they keep 2 players alive in the previous round, then they can afford to drop a couple AKs and hunt it out into this one. But now they're going to have to simply just save all 3. Perhaps may catch Cello if they decide to just go all the way towards T-spawn, but it looks like they're just going to all exit the same way, take no chances. This is going to be 3-2 as Rise will pick up 2 rifle rounds. And they won't have enough to get the op out. So this is going to be, and it's a question to see if Luminosity are going to force around this, because they will get 3-round loss, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead. I mean, they can get M4s. It's going to be very minimum with 2 players dropping, so 2 players drop, 1 guy gets FAMAS. It's a very strong buy, actually, around this for what they had. And that is just why it's so critical to keep Yell alive in this situation. As, again, it's going to be an up pick potential on Luminosity's side. Yell hasn't really come into form yet into this game. I really found any kind of openers for Luminosity. It's been all Janji and co to find the first bloods, if not traded out evenly, which is great for the T side.
And now Yell specifically looks for that opening shot, and he's not going to be able to connect it. In fact, he himself was hit there earlier. He brought down to about half of his HP. And Rise just looking for another opportunity where they can execute. They've spread their players out very far across the map right now. No commitment really anywhere, but they've got 2 guys pushed up very far down Banana. Another 3 players that are going to be inside of the CT apartments here in a second, trying to hold control here. So Rise really keeping their options open, but it does seem though since they don't find any contest at all in those apartments that they're probably going to fall through with the execute outside here. Cello and PKL both trying to hold the crossfire here over at the mid-choke point. But As they push back in, they don't note Cello. Dazzle will be able to take down Showtime. At Cello, a quick change of his position. He's able to chain together a second kill. They still don't realize that he's there, so he moves in for one more. Dazzle finds the digital kill, but then crosses right into Cello's crosshair. Gives him a number 4. Can he make it the ace? Let's see. Yes, he can. Cello dominates at the mid choke point and completely shuts down Rise.
I don't know if that's an oversight or perhaps just the smoke locking it down, right? Cello just used that smoke beautifully to play around it. Rise felt pressured to try to push through the smoke, try to find a pick, try to do something to answer back as soon as Cello got the first. But then it was just one man in, one man out for Rise. He'd go through, he would die, and they kept going and going and going. And they didn't learn their lesson until the lesson they learned was that 4th for Luminosity. And Rise will get 2 AKs out, some upgraded pistols. As the LG go again, after they kill his heel, right into the double up on Yell and PKL. And I know how deadly this can be if you watch them online. If it really starts rolling and it comes online, becomes a consistent thing, they're able to get money for it. Their economy never becomes damaged. It is so hard to play against Luminosity when they get these out.
So it is going to be once again Rise taking it nice and slow here as they kind of prep up for a standard execute. They might end up pulling away from us, though, so don't account for the fact that they've got this heavy presence toward mid-choke and apartments as a sign that they're going to execute into this site just yet. You can see smokes and whatnot moving in, but the CTs have their own ways of countering this back out. Specifically, we can see this nice little boost that they're going to go for here to try and counter out. Push through mid-choke, and Cello looks up on top of that. I don't think he was able to see Janji just yet. Janji just barely escaping underneath of the smoke there. So he will not get tagged or taken down by anyone here on LG. Rise, though, decided to give up on this push through the mid-choke point, and now they've fallen back where they're going to try to edge up Banana instead.
This will lead the charge, and the center from Luminosity is now very passive. They have one up a PKL holding from Coffins, and Nekes from New Box. And there you have it, PKL. Yeah, he'll get the first. Even going to peek for some more. His teammate Nekes has perfectly positioned himself in an off angle to help the op, and this round I think is pretty much done.
Yep, bringing it down to only one player left alive now. That's going to be Janji. Stuck back over here at the bottom of Banana. Cello will easily take him out. And that's Luminosity securing a very strong lead now at 5-2. With the match now being paused. I believe Rise is going to call for their first pause here. So clearly, the executes are just not working out too well. And they're losing in way too many of what should be relatively straightforward gun battles.
Yeah, you would think so thus far. But it is going to be a chance for Oso Random to actually get his words in, get his opinions in, tell him perhaps, hey, you know what? I've seen this hole, I've seen X, I've seen Y. Let's go into this execution. Let's try this out. Maybe slap a couple players from taking a bit too many chances. But I'd like to see Rise get into some more defaults when they get their rifles out. I feel like they've tried to go for a bit too many kind of executions, and they've been getting picked apart. For example, running through that smoke to one round. So maybe there's a bit more to it. But I'm willing to see some depth here from Rise as soon as they get rifles back out.
And so now, with the full save being called for these players, I'm not expecting anything amazing from them. With the 2 P250s, and Janji's even going to be hit by that right at the start of this round. He's going to lose about a third of his HP off the bat. The others, well, they're not going to be faring too much better off here either. As we can see, Showtime able to quickly knock out one of them. Dazzle dead on the ground here. And for the 4 remaining players on Rise, just kind of halted in mid. Not able to make any forward momentum here as they don't have the utility to do so. They're just kind of hoping that someone from Luminosity overextends. And they can punish that, get at least a small gun upgrade from it. But if not, obviously won't be too big of a deal. As they expect. Oh, and PK even lines with a double right there too. There's stars line for him there. It's VSA and Janji on just a single shot. And then Cello hiding in the cubby is going to take down the last 2.
Very nice and simple from Luminosity. I was about to say Lumamity. It's definitely not the team name. It's Luminosity. As Rise will get AKs. No up for Ace. It's been a little bit. As Luminosity will continue with this double op. I said if their money is never challenged, PKL and Yell are given free reign to just make these ops work, hit the shots. They don't even one around, even one operator is finding a pick on either side of the map. It just makes it alleviates so much pressure for the CTs. And it might be too much for Rise to deal with right now. As I like to see Rise start to get A-Apps control, get late banana control, don't feel pressure to take fights early on in rounds. Perhaps it is that land bug of nerves that is still swarming the team just due to how new and how land untested they are.
So ultimately here, Rise are going to very, very slowly line up for a straightforward execute again. They'll leave Moose on the other site just to kind of hold back rotates. The Luminosity already having 3 players established here. Well, they're actually going to be putting themselves into a bit of a tough situation, but Cello holds the line, and not only does that, but he pushes it way back. Takes down 3 players from the side of Rise. Completely kills the entire card position hold here for these Ts that they had set up for. And now he's only 1 alive further down Banana with no bomb control or anything to play off of. Moose, however, somehow snuck all the way through arches.
Yeah, he got through mid for free.
He's got this great position. Ace, though, has got to be careful. And you can tell he's watching his back there. Knows that he's probably going to be pinched in a few seconds if he's not careful here. So he's trying to keep eyes on this while he waits for the smoke at half wall to fade away. It's gone now. CTs are still very much set up to stop him. Cello's there for the trade even after Ace gets that nice kill. Just drops the bomb on the ground again here, leaving only Moose to try and take these players out. Moose does successfully move into the site, picks up 1. Now he can grab the bomb and just hightail it out of here, but he finds a second kill. However, makes the mistake of peeking out against the Oppert, and that's what will finally shut things down for Luminosity as they claim a number 7 with a 5-round lead over Rise.
Well, isn't Cello just having one hell of a match? 17-3, and we're just starting round 10.
That's incredible.
That's actually insane. From the mid-ace to locking down Banana now, he has just been all over the place and just swarming Rise. They haven't had a moment to breathe. And you know what? Maybe another pause isn't the biggest of deals here to take. You have 4 30-second pauses. Again, get that coach's input on the next rifle round. But it's been Rise not having the money to get the op. Haven't really worked too many defaults. It's been straightforward. Almost as straightforward as that bullet landing into Showtime's skull. As now they have an M4 to work with. There's armor behind it. So you know what? There's slowly working into this round is Rise. But I'm still not sold, especially with Nekus getting this much Banana control.
Yeah, he's going to just move right back down. So if anyone from Rise tries to push up Banana, not only is obviously Nekus going to be there, but Yells is here to really just rip these players to shreds too. Rise will start to push themselves up. They do check that position, so at the moment, Nekus is left alone, but still able to multi-frag here. He gets 2. Yells chimes in for number 3. Nade will attempt to do some damage over here to Nekus, but now with those kills happening, Rise are left with basically 0 options, and yeah, Cello will just push down mid, knocking out the last 2, making it easy for LG here as they continue to rack up the rounds.
That's 19. Those of you counting at home. And I don't think he's going to stop anytime soon. But it's good to see the op out in Ace's hands. And I'm looking for, again, still some more depth from Rise.
Yeah, that's been the other thing here. They've been struggling to do anything else besides just basically playing to like defaults, holding back, looking for picks, and then slowly eventually turning that into just a straightforward sight hit. We haven't really seen anything else besides that, so these basic strategies are not going to work. We need to see something more advanced, some fakes or something like that.
I want to see a default. I feel like they're playing too passive. Like, I want to see them get AAPS control right at the beginning of the round. I want to see them get light Banana control if you feel it's too much. I feel like map control has been a big dampening right now on Rise for this.
Well, they are right now. They are still going in and taking really apartments control. It's just they're not doing anything with it.
That's a big part of it.
And when they do something with it, it's like very straightforward and easy to read. So Luminosity is usually in a position to counter it most of the time. Another slow lead up here from Rise. And again, since Luminosity don't see any aggressive pressure at the start of the round, they're going to start to pinch themselves. They move forward over towards the like porch area and whatnot, even towards the mid-choke one itself. Cello's actually got a very hard angle. They're not going to be ready for that at all. VSA thankfully saves the day, however, takes him out, and then even finds PKL through the smoke. Nicely done by him as he's just shutting down these defenders at this point. He's going to do a little bit more work, though, as they move into the site. Tries to find the player in pit. It'll be Dazzle to trade there, but then Yell chimes in for another pickup. It's down to an even 2v2. Yell's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, though. Looks for the quick shot. Misses it. Now forced again, but he gets that quick scope. This time it's going to connect on a Jonji. Acer, though, moves back in, finds the trade, wants to close out now against Nekus. And Nekus will back away, holds behind the corner, is going to wait for Ace to go for the plant before he pushes in.
Palm will go down. Ace is going to play around the pillar. And Nekus is just going to play the time game as Ace is put in a spot where he can go back around through AAPS. He can hold mid. But it looks like Nekus is going to start to push up in sight now. Keep in mind, he does have a kit, but Ace has a molly. So if Nekus tries to cut this close, the molly could be the money sitch here. Bounce it off default, land it on bomb. And Nekus is going to tap it, try to bait Ace out. He's not going to use his molly. Instead, he likes to peek, and perhaps I mean, you had to go for some kind of play. It was either you throw the molly, try to bait him off the bomb, shoulder peek it, commit to it, but he didn't have too many options. As Luminosity, that still hurts Rise in this situation, who do, however, have max loss plus a bomb plant, so get AKs out. But getting rifles hasn't been their problem. It's been converting post plants at times. It's been getting some kind of control outside of AAPS, but actually taking advantage of it. That round VSA actually opens it up. I'm surprised they haven't punished Luminosity for how aggressive they've been towards Banana later on in the round. There's been countless times Luminosity will just push down and pretty much almost solo B. Instead of just holding passive, though, they'll push down Banana. But this time, Rise will try to fight back and stop Luminosity from getting that control. But it is just Yell who will take down Janji.
And so now that is going to take us into another round where, to no one's surprise really at this point, Luminosity have a very good advantage to play off of here. And they don't even have to play it aggressively. They just sit back on the sites, hold more passive angles. And as soon as they're given any information at all about where Rise are going to be pushing towards, they set up on that site and immediately shut down the hit almost every single round. I'm actually curious as to how many rounds it's been since we've seen a real plant from Rise. They have not been doing a good job of getting site control here, so oftentimes we do see make it very easy for Luminosity to shut one down. I think Rise got a plant on the last round, but prior to that, for the most part, they've been getting destroyed. And it's going to be no difference here. Cello and Yell both pick up kills. Ace with one trade, though, as does Moose also finds one, too. They still haven't even gotten up to the platform, though. They smoke this off so that the player that usually goes back in the corner cannot immediately contribute to this fight. 1-for-1 trades still favors Luminosity, though, because of their earlier opening kill. And it now leaves just Moose alive. Luminosity are smart. They're not going to risk their lives here. In an open 1v1 gun duel, they're going to both wait until they're ready to strike on him before pushing back in to close out on this round. And I can hear him moving around all over the site. And there you go. Showtime finds the perfect position, even abuses Moose's own smoke to be able to close out on that individual 1v1 and still win it for Luminosity.
As someone who's had the pleasure of watching, and a lot of people in NA who watch Tier 1, Tier 2 perhaps follow it, but watching these guys rise through main, get to Premier, grind out Premier under a different name, and then trying to now having Rise and being a big team in Premier, it's hard to watch them getting just absolutely just map controlled on, just no one hitting their shots. They can't break up crossfires right now, and everything's going Luminosity's way. It's not even a roll that I have 50-50 anymore or 40-50. It is simply just 80% Luminosity at this point. As Rise on round 13 gonna have to go for a half buy if they want to get rifles out in full utility. The op will come out on Ace next round. But if they can bring this back and do a 10-5, which requires them to win out, all can be forgot.
Yes, they're going to need to do that, though, and this is not necessarily a round, but that's going to be so easy. Moose is hurt going up the steps in the CT apartments, so he's going to get naded out very quickly there. Brought down to 71 HP as a result of it. John G goes fishing for headshots. Let's see if he comes out with anything big. But right now, we'll basically just be forced away, since Luminosity now established more aggressive presence there to stop any kind of aggressive movement at all from Rise towards that B site. Even pushing out, too, so they got a lot of intel off this. We should see at least one player, if not two, start to rotate over towards A. There we go. There's going to be Cello moving over now to support the effort to defend A. However, Rise, despite stacking up a majority of their players towards mid, are also keeping a few on Banana here. So the options are still open. They need to be a little bit more decisive about this, as they don't necessarily have a whole lot of time left. They're getting a little bit low here at 50 seconds and seemingly no map control. This is not going to probably translate that well into an execute.
If they can catch Yell off guard, which is a big if. I know John G's deal has done a nice job, found a couple picks thus far in this match. He nearly catches him there, but now the repeat becomes extremely difficult, plus a flash. And Nekis can just sit here at new blocks, spray away, knowing Yell's going to keep repeaking. And this is just what you call a slaughter, as perhaps Moose is next up on the menu. As they know he's been looking out towards A, he's able to find PK and grab the op. With 10 seconds, he should be able to stay alive, as he's actually able to sneak around from Showtime.
Showtime's going to go out towards window room and shut him down, I think.
It's such a big run as soon as his door gets up. Oh, it's already open.
Take a move. Oh. Oh, no.
If that door wasn't opened, he lives there.
So he moves in, just plays with them too, jumps right in front of him. Didn't even realize it at first and is able to spam him down by jumping into his hallway. That should not necessarily happen so easily, but regardless, he gets the kill, shuts it down, and now we're at 11-2 going into the final couple rounds of the first half here.
11-4 is all they can hope for. As the op will come back out on Ace, Moose will go for the UMP just to get out that extra flare and fire. As Luminosity will do the typical send 3 towards B. Yells will throw flashes over, and they are just full blinding Rise. 1 for 1, but it looks like Luminosity can continue to hold this pressure due to sending 3.
There's the nade to kill the... Oh,
yeah.
That works out so well because they were actually going to boost over half wall, and I don't think LG were expecting that. So what that nade actually does is it kills the person on the bottom of the stack up and now stops them from doing that. Dazzle does catch a trade, so it's still even for right now. Showtime's been spotted early this time. Still, though, Showtime wins the battle. Molly's off the mid-choke point. He's going to quickly rotate back over to establish presence on the A side itself and defend against the push from Rise. Whether he's going to... Oh, actually, I don't think Showtime saw Moose sneaking back over here towards the top area here. So Moose is just going to play it safe since he's low too. Molly's it out, but he's kind of wasted too much time here. Now, they'll be able to get the kill at Showtime, but oh, the library player actually moves to a different position too. So Luminosity making a couple mistakes here positionally, and that could cost them heavily. Yep, Ace is now going to be able to find Cello on porch side, and it's all on Yell all of a sudden.
The way this game's been going, I really wouldn't kid out Yell. Although they have another smoke for lane. Yell picked up an AK, and Moose is just being so risky right now. They're going to cross spots in the smoke. And this smoke makes Yell being able to isolate that player. Moose is tagged, and he can't miss, and he won't. If Moose misses a couple shots there, yeah, honestly, Yell could probably spin around and find that. So Rise get to round 15. They get the op in Ace's hands, and they stabilize for at least a little bit. But from what I've watched, a lot of NA teams do just really like the T side of Inferno. So I think Luminosity are probably one of those teams. I don't know. It seems like the T side in Tier 1 NA seems to do better than the CT side. I'd have to go in depth more with the stats, but from what I've watched, like as a spectator, it seems to be that way. So Rise are just getting that CT, just getting that smackdown right now from Luminosity. But there's still a chance here. If Rise can get 4, again, it comes down to pistol rounds. They convert the pistol rounds. There is still certainly a chance for Rise.
Rise are actually going to stack up towards mid for right now, and I think get ready to go back to their basic style of execution. The problem is this has gone terrible for them every time they've attempted it so far in the prior to this point in the half, and I would see no reason as to why it would be any different. They haven't really taken any good pauses that would suggest that they would have had a massive change up here, so unless they had a stroke of genius in the middle of the half. I'm kind of worried that Luminosity are just going to rip them to shreds again upon entry, so we have to wait and see on that now as smokes move in. Cello does lose his initiation smoke, and actually Cello makes a big mistake in peeking that. He'll get a lot of intel off of it, but now they're going to try to hold on their own. 2 kills for them. However, it only equalizes the trades now that they take an advantage, but Ace picks up another one. Yell is there to shut down Ace as he attempts to push past the mid-choke point. A nice little flank that works its way in on Banana just the nick of time, and that will leave Moose alone here to try and clutch 1v2 again.
Seems like Yell has gone to the yellow pages and has found Rise's number. As Moose is in a 1v2, not ready for Showtime in pit, and that's a 12-3 half. And that is a 12-3 half in which Luminosity converted the pistol rounds. Rise only got 2 rifle rounds strung together, and that was 4 and 5. And keep in mind, on round 4, the first rifle round they won, all their players died to the bomb. One player was able to hold towards port side from Luminosity. I forget who exactly it was. I think that may have been, I think that was Yells or PKL. And they were able to hold towards arch side, denied those rifles, which made round 5s by weak. And then it was just all Rise, stringing so many rounds together. Or so it was Luminosity stringing so many rounds together, sorry. And Rise just having a ton of issues, as you can see on their T side defaults. Their quick executions got shut down. They never really... Their half buys almost limited the amount of full buys they're getting. And it was just one big slippery slope because you almost have to keep buying after you go down in such a convincing fashion.
And so now this takes us into the second half pistol where it's, I mean, it goes without saying that Rise pretty much have to win this here. And, well, doesn't start off too well. They even it back up, though. They bring it back down to a 2v2. The problem is, though, that they're very split up from where the T's are positioned, so Luminosity is going to have a free walk onto the ace site here. They'll get themselves an easy plant. So this all comes down to the retake. Rise, well, they're going to quickly position themselves at with the library, I believe, along with mid-show point. They're actually, looked like VSA was confused for a second there, but they should know for certain this is an A point. And now they'll have to make a move to try and pinch on this and just hope that they can be good on the draw here, because if they lose this, Luminosity will be well on their way to an easy map 1 victory.
And Janji's already down, so it is just VSA. How slick can he be in a 1v2? And dinked up and will be neutralized. That's 13, a 10-round lead for Luminosity.
Not very slick.
Not too slick, unfortunately.
So
But the first and last letters of his name are still accurate.
True. That's very correct. All right,
Just
so this
very
takes
observant over here.
us into the second round now of the half, and Luminosity, with them having the lead, well, obviously we'll see an attempt from Rise to eco them, but odds are not looking so good. So if Luminosity shut this one down, they have the easy round after this, and then it's just getting that one final gun round to close out on this map here and push them on to face off against CLG in that winner's bracket final.
Rise and Misfits should be an interesting storyline if that's what the case will be.
I mean, if Rise is playing like this, to be honest,
Might not be so interesting.
it might not be a very intensive set. They really need to bring themselves together because this is just very standard style play, extremely easy to read. And the individual fragging power, I'm just not seeing it right now from Rise either. I'm not really sure what they're going to be able to utilize to take down Misfits, if this is the kind of play style we're going to see throughout the day from them. See, like, this is good. This is something bold, something different. They're getting aggressive. They're pushing back out. Luminosity did not expect this. They're panicking a little bit here because of this.
And Janji is going to be able to get into CT, and I like this from Rise. They flash, show that there's 3 players there, get a frag, and immediately pull 2 players. If Luminosity had a bit more A presence, perhaps they would commit to A as soon as they lose 1 player towards B. But due to them being so B-centric and having more of a mid presence instead of any kind of A, Luminosity are just going to continue towards B. And it is surely just Moose now.
Spamming into this, gets 1 more added to his kill counter, but he's going to be taken down just seconds later by Nekaz. While it is still an advantage for Rise, the 3 players still armed up with much better weaponry are going to be able to hold probably a lot better off than Rise here. We'll have to see, though. They get themselves set up in the post plant. And now the rotates are moving back in. Gale's going to be tested first off here, but he's gifted a kill for free. And in the second fight, also wins there, too. Now can back up into the cubby. Take a safe position, try to make these other players in a peek, and 1 by 1 they accomplish that. They peek out, but unfortunately they can't get anything done. Showtime and Nekaz both get kills just seconds apart from each other. And Luminosity will easily secure that 14th round here. And Rise have a choice to make. Do they want to attempt to force again and take this all the way, or do they want to just save here and try to buy out on the final round?
I mean, both buys are going to be terrible. So you could go for both 2 rounds of pistols. It looks like they're just going to go for some P250s and a Zeus. I mean, it's almost like they need to convert this round instead of waiting for 15. CLG can do it. I mean, so can Rise, perhaps. I'd like a Zeus kill. Haven't had one yet this event.
No, I don't think we have.
A little bit of electricity, wake you up.
We'll see.
May catch Showtime.
Luminosity are going to take very good control over here towards the A site. Rise only just now realized just how far they've gotten into the site here, as they'll be able to basically walk in for free. I'm sure Luminosity are going to look a little bit confused about this whole situation. Like, okay, they just left the site completely open, it seems, so they'll be able to easily walk back in. I think there's 1 player over there at the extremity of the CT apartments that they'd have to deal with, but besides that, everyone else is going to be working their way around for B. Trying to retake this. Yelb's already found Janji, taking him down. Finds a second player, too. He's a little bit too low to continue fighting now, so probably we'll have to back away a little bit. And while Moose will move in again, he's, oh, okay, hold on. Maybe we have a chance. Come on. Oh,
What?
No!
That's not fair. Just give it to him. That's just not
He
fair.
didn't even do any damage. I thought he would have at least gotten like the 80 damage hit that it does if you're too far away, but we didn't even see that. He was apparently just completely out of range.
Joke's on him, they're actually disabled in server.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
Oh, man. Rise's perhaps last rifle round into this opening BO1 for them. We'll get out some smokes, a nade, but no mollies, which are so critical on the CT side. Allows you to be extra aggressive towards Banana. You can stay around that much longer because you've had the molly to separate them. You can have a flash peek. So it looks like Dazzler's just going to throw a deep smoke, and they are going to try to fight anyway without these mollies.
Molly's actually forced Rise back pretty quickly here, too, as Luminosity moves in. Already pushing the mid choke point to go for another quick execute. They've been working well for them before. They are going up against full gunpowder here now. Dazzle trying to fight for control of Arches, but he'll lose that fight. Rise, however, for VSA specifically, he's going to be able to move back in. Still, the trade's not favoring them. Janji bringing it back a little bit, but he overpeaks, overstays his welcome out of the doorway there in Library, giving himself away, and now leaving only Ace alive to try and clutch this back out here as he's stuck in a 1v3 situation. Not a whole lot of choices left.
No choice whatsoever. And I think they know exactly where he escaped to. Ace shouldn't even be allowed to find a single frag. You may get one, but it's going to be immediate trade. And there you have it, 16-3 Rise. As I said, their T-side just didn't net them much of anything. If they put up 4, 5, 6 rounds on T-side, maybe we get some more depth. We get some rifles out. We get Ace on an op on the CT side. Maybe you can see a bit more. But Luminosity played lights out. Sound CT side. They just shut down any kind of map control that Rise wanted to get on their T side. The default didn't really work out for Rise, and that is just
that's it.
That's just a roll.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play Misfits into BO3.
So that's probably going to be a little bit discouraging for the guys on Rise here now. Now they're going to have to look to play a best of 3 versus Misfits coming up a little bit later on. That'll send them down to the lower bracket very, very quickly. So they're going to have to hope that they can kind of take some time back, discuss about what went wrong there, and recover very, very quickly, as they're not going to be given a chance to do that against Sean Guerra. So I'm sure he's done the prep. And I'm sure he's going to be ready to fight against them, even with the issues that they suffered from. It was not as bad as what we saw from the guys over here on Rise. So they're going to have to quickly fix up those issues and get ready to fight again. So otherwise, they could be facing a very quick elimination from their attempt to qualify for the major.
Yeah, so I think next up is going to be that elimination match, isn't it?
No, it's the winners final.
Is it the winner final first? Okay, that's a BO1. Or is that? That's a BO1. Yep, another
so
BO1.
That's going to be
Look at that.
That's going to be CLG taking on Luminosity, and that should be coming up, guys, in just a couple of minutes here. So do stick around. We'll be right back with that next matchup right here from the America's Minor as the road to Boston continues on.